A beloved community isn't what I once thought it was, and it isn't at all some idyllic place where everything and everyone fits perfectly. In fact, it is far more mismatched and jagged and far more interesting than neat and orderly. I learned about what a beloved community is like while growing up in a world of mismatchedness. And let me tell you, once upon a time there was a minister. Well, this was before she was a minister, but when she was just a kid. And this is a story about her mismatchedness and her discovery about beloved community. She had a sister who oftentimes, without telling her, borrowed socks, mittens, gloves, and etc. And now this sister was not really careful with things, and sometimes, too often, it seemed, the pair that once was a perfectly good and fine and matched pair became a onesie. Not like the cute little onesies that newborn babies wear, but a onesie like a onesie red mitten and a onesie purple glove, or a onesie blue and white striped sock. Now the sister didn't usually tell her that one part of the pair had gone missing by being left at the schoolyard or in the back of the family car that had left with the driver hours ago, or by being used to dust under the bed or lost in the back of the closet. You know all those lost places and the problem of the onesies, right? No, this sister did not tell her sister about the lost part. And running out to get to school or to play or hang around with Grampy Faye, she would find a missing whatever. So this minister, before she became minister, learned that it was okay and sometimes could be interesting and fashionable to mix and match differences. So one red mitten would become a stunning set when matched with a blue one, or one striped sock could become a very fine new fad when matched with a blue flowered one. But then as life marched on, the need to match things, to make things orderly, seemed to become important, resulting in unnecessary tension because this minister figures not matching things might be a way to complete and bring lots of unknown mismatchedness together, creating a beloved community that allowed irregularities, allowed imperfections to shine more wholly. This sister, who challenged this minister more than any other person could, allowed me to discover that it is the various and sundry bits and parts of people that are needed to create a beloved community. A beloved community is a place where lost or incompleteness is valued. A beloved community is where disagreements and disappointments can interrupt the sameness, and after talking with and expressing the frustrations and upsets, can make two or more people come together to imagine something else. A beloved community allows us to look around and see who is missing, who is not represented, who is left out, who is not noticed. And as I grew out of the need to have this homogeneity, I began to notice that if I was in an environment where everything was the same, similar, and alike, well, it was very uninspiring. And how stale my thinking would get and how rigid my perspectives and my biases would become. Now, a beloved community requires a willingness to forego that everyone thinks like me, acts like me, or that they even like me. And that if I want to develop and build a beloved community, I need to nurture a trust that difference is good and positive, and that diversity of voice, experience, and ideas will enrich my way of being. In the Bible book of Genesis, chapter 11, 1 through 9, there is the story, the Tower of Babel. The story begins by telling that the earth had one language and that the people came together to build a tower that would reach into the heavens to show the God how powerful and united as one culture, as with one language, these people were. And after the tower was built, rather than getting the praise that the builders thought they deserved, the God decided to scatter them all over the face of the earth and to confuse and confound their language so that they would not easily understand each other. Now, you may be wondering how that connects to a beloved community, for you might be saying, well, wasn't that a beloved community? I mean, they were all together, they were building a city, they were speaking one language, they had a common culture. But I say to you, it was not a beloved community. Instead, it was a community full of puffed up self-importance. It was a community that thought only of building an edifice that reached with pride and arrogance into the heavens. It was a community that didn't have diversity and didn't have to listen carefully to interpret words and cultures, didn't have to get to know one another. And after the tearing down of the Tower of Babel and the scattering of the people, well, diversity flourished. And recognizing differences in culture and language and humans occurred. And then beyond a community of sameness, a need to reach out to others who are different became the way of life. And it helped to bring together mismatched people and places and culture. Oh, to be sure, it led to conflicts, but it required that everyone stay at the table to talk about those differences, to learn new ways of hearing, to seek unity, not as a vanilla unity with everyone get along kind of attitude, but a deeply grounded unity. And this unity is only possible when there is increased awareness that the universe doesn't exist solely for our delight and benefit. And unity only is possible when there is recognition of another's perspectives, only when there is dialogue and apology leading to reconciliation and a new awareness, sometimes through reparation. Oh, how I do wish my sister were still around so we could talk about how she hurt me when she took my stuff without asking, or how she treated it with little regard. And it would be nice if I could find that missing chain for the necklace that Grampy Faye got me. It must be hidden in some way back. But in the meantime, I accept that her actions led me to discover that a beloved community is not a place built in replica of my image, but a community built by piecing together bits and pieces and celebrating the mismatchedness of life. And as I continue to develop and explore what it means to become a beloved community, I find that the UUA's 8th Principle Project and process can offer me guidance. The 8th principle is a creative way of looking at building a beloved community by coming together in covenant. And I quote, "We, the member congregations of the Unitarian Universalist Association, covenant to affirm and promote journeying towards spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community by our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and our institutions." As I continue to learn more about myself and the vision of a beloved community, I am continually reminded that it is something to work towards with others who are willing to journey with me as I open myself to new experiences, even the painful experiences of confronting my own shortcomings and my lack of awareness afforded me by my privilege, being a white woman. But more importantly, it is a willingness to trust others enough to stay engaged, even in difficult conversations. Henry Nouwen reminded me in this quote, "Community is first of all a quality of the heart. It grows from the spiritual knowledge that we live not for ourselves but for each other. Community is the fruit of our capacity to make the interest of others more important than our own." I just need to think of those words and remember how my sister delighted in wearing her big sister's things, and that she didn't intend to leave me with the mismatched objects. And I need to remember that she had a whole lot of living that she crammed into her too short life, and that her enthusiasm and other way of looking at life helped me to see beyond my own particular perspective. If I can become part of a beloved community, and if this can move me into becoming a part of a holy, lovely, committed group, I will have learned a lot, and we can build this beloved community by journeying together. May it be so.